Greetings. I'm listening.
Good to meet you.
I've been expecting you.
For the good.
You come get the voodoo.
Hey there. And you are?
Light be with you.
You come to consult the spirits?
Welcome to Orgrimmar. Have you come to serve the Horde?
Shiny. Sail here. Me buy and trade. What?
Sail here. Me buy and trade. What?
Hello and welcome to Ctrl Alt WoW, the podcast for those of us who love World of Warcraft and love making mini alts. Today is Sunday, January 26, 2020, and this is episode 647 entitled Old Gods, Shenanigans, and Grinding Hard. I'm Aprillian, your host, and with me are my two awesome co-hosts. Good morning, or afternoon, or evening. It's evening, right? Grand Nagus, how are you?
Oh, it's almost midnight here.
It's almost
yeah,
midnight. Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. Let's just say I have a bit of anger. But that's something that neither of us can do anything about, so it's just a consequence of the current state of the game.
Okay.
So,
and we missed you last week. We do want to give a shout out to Jeppy for stepping up to the plate. You were absolutely wonderful. Yeah. He was absolutely wonderful. Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't fun to have your power supply
explode,
blow out.
Yeah.
Obliterated.
Yeah, I couldn't take my second computer, use it the way I can this one, or flip a switch and use have 5 minutes go by, and then all of a sudden the power supply from one computer is in the other. It's not a plug and play thing with the power supply.
It should be, but yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
No,
so we do want to thank Jumpy. We enjoyed having him here. Shout out to you wherever you are. And Constructs, how are you doing this week?
I'm feeling fantastic and a little bit under the weather, but getting better. We have reports that the flu is coming this way. So
right, yeah.
Oh, hopefully not the bad one.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, the bad one. There's a case in Ontario that's been announced on the news.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Ooh.
we're very worried that person is got the virus. So.
Oh shoot!
Now, did you get a flu shot? Because I got a flu shot.
I did, but the flu shot doesn't apply to this.
Right. I know it's a different
specific strain.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on this week? Of course, we're in the middle of Lunar Festival. Yay!
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have Pet Battle Week, and we have Lunar Festival. So.
Oh, how wonderful!
Yeah, Lunar Festival, we have quite a few new things. We have a new quest chain you can do.
Oh, interesting.
And the festival lasts until February 7th. So we have almost 2 weeks of Lunar Festival.
Yeah.
And
it goes right till the day before Love is in the Air.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
So this year you can complete a quest chain that is called Lunar. The thing is called Lunar Preservation, and the tooltip for that says perform the rite of the moon at the moon wells scattered around the world. You can find them in Ashenvale, Fellwood, Feralis, Moonglade, Stone Talon Mountains, Duskwood, and Mount Hyjar. If you let the blessing of the moon expire, you will have to start over. So it's a time thing, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
But what it does, once you finish it, is that we have the Flower Crown cosmetic that normally, as with all the seasonal or holiday transmog, you can only use them while the holiday, the respective one, is going on. And once it's over, you have to wait for it to start again whenever next it starts, so you can use it again. If you finish this lunar preservation, says preservation, you preserve the right to use that transmog, so you can use it all year round.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I hope they do a similar thing for the other transmog items as well. I really like that idea that you can unlock, so to speak, the use of the respective holiday garb transmog. I really like that. We have new toys. We have the Lunar Elder Hearthstone, which costs 30 coins. Nice. And we have Everlasting Horde and Alliance fireworks. Both are toys, and the fireworks cost 25 coins. So,
and before you go adventuring, you might want to check your bank, see if you have
any coins left
from last
behind.
year.
Right? Yeah.
I was just about to say that. And
great minds think alike.
Yeah, that's the only currency, if I'm correct, that doesn't
stays.
go away.
Right.
Yeah.
Once the holiday is over. So, and also, once the holiday is over, don't destroy the currency.
Right.
That's right.
Keep it until next year, so you have a head start on the new one, because there is stuff that you can buy with it, as with all the other currency, and that is the heirloom upgrades.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, and they're quite cheap. The 100. They cost 40 and 75 respectively if you have the smaller ones. I'm not sure how much the bigger ones are, but the two that I see here listed are the ones that take you to from 90 to 100 and from 60 to 90, which doesn't make sense because that's and anyway, right. You can buy the heirloom upgrade things. So go ahead and check that out. And then we have the normal stuff. That is the dresses, the costumes, the dragon costumes, which I think the Lunar Festival is the festival with the most stuff to buy.
Oh, interesting.
For currency, because the dragon costumes alone are a set of 3 in colors: red, blue, green, and colorless, meaning there are no colors assigned. So that's 4. That's 12 pieces. Just for the for those pieces. That's 12 toys I don't think that any other holiday has 12 toys just as a part of it.
Right.
Right.
So I really I like the idea that they go all out with these dragon things, because the dragon is such a prominent cultural thing in China, which is where the holiday comes from.
Right, because it is the lunar.
Yeah. So I think that they pay the tribute. That it's okay. And then you have the flower crowns, like I said, the cosmetic pieces, the 4, which aren't toys, but they're still, those are the items that I talked about, retaining or preserving the cosmetic appearances. 4, crown of good fortune, crown of dark blossoms, prosperity and courage. So that's another 100 coins. So there is quite a bit of coin collecting to do if you want to get it all done. I haven't done the math, but I would say there are like 500-600 altogether. Since one set, for instance, the dragon costume per color costs 60. So that's 240, 280. Yep, 280 for all the dragon costumes, and then another 100 for the crowns, and the pets another 100, and
but the dragon costume is the front, the middle part, and the back. So you can have multiple middle parts if you want to have several characters do like the daisy chain.
Head, body, and tail.
Yes. So if you want to do an actual dragon dance, you're going to need more than 3 parts, because each character only wears 1 part.
Yes. Yeah, you can again, and you can mix and match them with the colors as well. So yeah, it's but and the thing I like about the elders is, contrary to the fires for Midsummer Fire Festival, is that some of the elders are located in areas like dungeons, where you don't have fires in dungeons.
Right.
And I really like that you need to go into instance content to get some of them. But yeah, and then obviously we have, I don't have all the calendar features because I'm not in game at the moment, so.
Well, I am. I can look at it. So we do have time walking begins on Tuesday. The dungeon event, Ny'alotha, the Walking City begins?
The Waking City.
The Waking City, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, walking City.
I said Walking City last week, so I was corrected by Jeppy. No, I'm just pulling a Jeppy.
PvP War Song Scramble ends and ongoing the Lunar Festival. Yeah. And then Friday. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The Waking City refers to the last week or this ongoing cycle. They started the raid for normal and heroic, and this upcoming week is when the mythic and first chapter, or no, what's it called? The LFR wing. There it is. The wing of LFR opens up. So coming this Tuesday, the race to Mythic first is starting. And yeah, let me just say this much. I watched quite a few videos from content creators about the conclusion, about the in-game cinematics.
Yeah.
And as much as people hate on it, because compared to what we used to get for the end of a expansion cinematic, like the final boss of the thing, the expansion, this is laughable. Let's just say it plain and outright. It's nothing that holds up to Blizzard's standards at all. Historically and law-wise, it makes sense. But if I think back to like when we killed Arthas, and then the cinematic started, that was like 2 or 3 minutes long. Same with Garrosh, where Varian says, if you don't behave, we will end you, meaning the Horde.
Yeah.
And the back and forth, and 2 different versions depending upon what faction you were on. This is like a 15-20 second thing of crumbling pylons and obelisks, and that's it. It's like nothing really significant. You have the in-game cinematic that reflects that you, as a player character, are the instrument of destruction. And that's quite nice. As was said, we haven't had that before, ever. We haven't seen a cinematic that uses us as the player, as the instrument of destruction. So that's a nice nod that we are the person, the tool,
right?
That makes or that ends, as far as we know, N'Zoth. So, right. But still, that doesn't take away from the way I feel with regards to the overall quality. I can't say, because the quality is great, but the feeling of
the
very strong feeling that there's something missing. There's
right.
like Taliesin said it, I think. He said something along the lines of, and I can't quote him because I don't have the quote in front of me. He said something like, having once you destroy Argus, you have this view. The scene cuts to Velen.
Yeah,
and he smiles and nods and says, "Yeah, it's over," basically. And nothing of that sort happens. It's not like we get to like come back to Mother or Rathion or any of the people back in the heart chamber. It's just we see the stuff crumbling, and that's it. So the nod to the protagonists of the expansion isn't there as much as the nod to us is there, but we are not the only relevant person. We couldn't have done it without them, without Mother, without Magni, without Rathion. We couldn't have done it alone. And that's something that I don't like, where they should have brought it together and basically basically said that, or at least give them a nod and say, yeah, well done, and them cheering or whatnot, something like that.
Right.
Or Mother saying something to the effects of whatever, objective complete or whatnot.
Job well done.
Yes, corruption terminated or something like that.
Yeah.
That would have been good. I mean, the wording is a bit off, but still. So that, I mean, the only hope I have is that we are going to see a mythic-only cutscene in addition to what we've seen so far.
Right.
But we haven't seen a mythic-only cutscene, I think, in a couple of raids. So on the one hand, that makes it more likely. On the other hand, why bother? If you look at the continuing thing of it, so the continuity of it is there, that they don't use a mythic only cutscene. So we'll see. But again, there's something that, for me that is thoroughly missed. And especially since, according to some interviews, or one interview specifically that I don't know who they did it, who did it, is that they interviewed Ian Haaaaaaaard, and he said, no, we're not going to see 8.3.5.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know. Had he not commented on it, I would have said we might see some complete closure
Right.
to it all. So like stuff that happens, the resolution, much like if you start if you finish Siege of Orgrimmar, or if you finished Siege of Orgrimmar, you came back out and you went back to the Vale, to your respective shrine,
Right.
in a Shah-infested Vale. And then you got the quest to go down to that one spot and talk to Emperor Shaohao. And then you would plant a seedling, and then it would start the
cinematic.
The little cinematic where it says, so this isn't the end, and we're going to, it's all going to turn out good. And here you can see this is basically, it's going to be okay again, which we have now. We have the Vale restored. Now,
if you're level 110, it's still Shaw infested. I've gone and looked.
I'm not sure when it's going to flip over. I think
there has to be somewhere in the quest progression where it switches back.
No. It's a thing. Once to 120, automatically it's going to be changed, because that's when the when all the stuff happens with the 8.3 content.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would think you can't access that stuff until you're 120.
Right.
So that's when the cutoff point is. But yeah, the veil is restored. If you on a max level character go to the veil now, you will see that the pagoda is back. You will see that all the Shah infestation is gone. The only thing that's not restored are the weapons of the Mogu statues. They are still
Missing.
Missing on this. They're at the base of the statue. They stand the two spear, the two top parts of the spear. So, that's something again altogether that I really have mixed feelings about. Let's put it mildly. So. Yeah.
All right, so that's what's going on this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Lunar Festival. Acknowledging our elders. And this is when we get all those. Do we still get the envelopes in our mailboxes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, we get them in our bags now.
Our bag.
But that's been happening for quite a few
some
years
time,
now.
yeah.
That you get them directly in the inventory, which sucks. I would think it's better to revert to the mail thing because it doesn't fill up your inventory.
Speaking of inventory, Grandigus, how are your
Yep.
bags?
Oops. There we go.
My bags?
I had stayed away from the content of 8.3 for quite a bit, and I had 54 slots in my bags, and I'd cleared up quite a few quests. As soon as you go into the content, your bags just start filling up right away with stuff you don't know where to put it. It's like, do I need this? Do I not need this? Should I keep it? Should I use it?
You don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, it's got a vendor value on it, but should I vendor it? Should I keep it? Like, am I going to need it later?
Yeah, right.
All right, let's get started. Are you ready?
I am.
I've had a fantastic weekend. Wow. It's very comforting. Those battlegrounds where you're not necessarily putting out more damage, but you feel like you're contributing more by pushing all the buttons all at once. Bad boy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Contracts. How's your weekend WoW been?
My week in WoW happened kind of not the way I planned. I got within 4 pet trainers of completing the pet battler, and I thought, it's not going to happen this week. I'm just going to run out of steam, and then I did this weird thing where I would play as much as I could afford little sleep to finish the achievement. And then I also finished the achievement for an awfully big adventure.
Ooh, congrats.
So I have Trunks, and I posted his abilities in the show notes, which you can see at controloutwild.com. And Trunks has amazing abilities. He has magic abilities, he has beast abilities, and he has just the most wonderful setup. But you need to do every battle in Pandaria with 2 pets, which is no easy feat after the nerf of the Howl Bomb. Because I remember back in the day, you used to have Creminius howl, and then he would finish his howl with a water geyser or a whirlpool going off, and it would kill off all and everything. But there was a big pet battle rework during which, at the end of Pandaria, they changed which abilities the geyser and whirlpool are on, which cooldowns, and putting them on the same button, so that no longer worked or applied in Canaan when we did it. So, like, I could understand why Blizzard, saw that something was too good, and then like the Terraclaw hatchling, which is needed during the Celestial Tournament, it's broken. The abilities no longer match what the guide says, so like you have to figure out another pet, and then you have to hope for RNG, and then you have to hope for 7 crits in a row because you're gonna die.
Right.
And then you have to hope the other pet misses, so it heals instead of damages you, because the other pet is like little bling, but he throws a package, and if he hits you, you die, and if he misses, he heals himself. So it's like, oh my, it was like the worst RNG fight ever. I had to use, I think, 40 pet bandages.
Shoot.
And you're in the Celestial Tournament, so you can't heal. So you have to leave the Celestial Tournament every time and rejoin and re-queue, and like it's a scenario, and like, oh my God. There's like, I tried every different strategy, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to pick this one strategy and stick with it. And after about 40 attempts, failed attempts, during which the computer always got the crit, I finally got all the crits to line up in a row, and it was glorious. It was glorious. It went off while I was streaming, and it was like so satisfying to finally get the achievement done. After that, I was planning to do some content for Surmar, so I could help out Aprillian, but I just ran out of time. I was just like, every day there was something that came up to tie me up in the game, whereas I was planned for mount runs, I would plan for mount collecting, I would plan for pet battles. It was Pet Battle Week this week. So Pet Battle bonus, every day I did 2 pet battles. I did a pet battle on a level 16 to bring it to 24 3/4. And I would do a pet battle on a level 1 to bring it to 20. So at least those 2 pet battles every day. And my warrior has hit level 118. So he's going to be level 120 in no time. This morning, I got up and I was like going to go back to bed, but there was a assault going on. So I thought, if I do the assault, I can have the buff for the 10% to XP and kills and quests. So all I have to do is stay up this morning. So I started doing the assault, and I'm like, I got key cloned this week because Jeppy was praising that software, and I thought, it's only $10.
Right, but it's complicated.
It's not $10, it's 20 now.
Oh, is it really?
It's $19.99, yeah. But it includes all future updates. So I'm like, I paid that for a token, so, why not? So I went in there and I got my key clone set up, and it wasn't exactly how I envisioned it. And so I downloaded like 10 add-ons to pair with it so that I could do things a little differently when I multi-box. And now it works exactly how I want. I have special abilities I set up on different buttons. I keep my space bar as passed to my clones, because if I mount up on a flying mount and I hit the space bar, they all take off. And then if I hit number 2, they all daisy chain to my lead character. And if my character hits level 1, one character does an interrupt, the other character does charge, the other character does a cast of a ranged ability. So they all hit the same target. It's wonderful. It's like a little mini raid. And I did the assault with 3 characters. I had my little gnome rogue, which has the cloak on her. And basically, when the rogue went in, no alliance would ever go near. No horde would ever go near, because they see these 3 characters hitting everything real fast and bringing all the big targets down. Even the elites don't last very long, because the abilities are synced in to complement each other. So, like, once the target is stunned, the warrior does the execute. So, like, that goes off pretty well. And the rage just keeps building on the warrior because the gnome just keeps attacking and chain running stuff. So imagine it's like Jeppy was describing when you do an AoE or whatever. Everything just snowballs towards that character, and all I have to do is position the mob in front of the warrior. So usually the rogue picks up aggro really fast. Once a rogue has aggro, I can navigate to the warrior hitting it dead on, and then the warrior does a cast ability that heals himself a little bit so he doesn't die. So all I have to do is worry about the rogue abilities like dodge, self-heal, Cloak of Shadows, bleed, garrote, all that stuff. I only have to worry about the rogue. The other two characters know what they're doing because they're always doing the same thing on every pull. It's great. I could see now when Vrishna would describe multi-boxing why he loved it so much.
Right.
It's an engineering thing. If you've set up all your commands ahead of time and something goes wrong and you know how to mitigate damage, feign death or whatever, you can recover anything.
Right.
I had my mage fall to 10% health. Couldn't find the ice block for love or money. But I knew if I finished up the fight quick enough, it didn't matter. So I popped Time Warp. Bada boom. The mob went down. It was an elite. And what comes out after the mob goes down? The other elite that's riding the elite. So it didn't matter that the mage was at 4% health because we finished up the fight real quick and the rogue picked up aggro, so it ignored the mage. And the quest turn-in worked for all of them except on the gather quest. The gather quest is something wrong with my third account. It doesn't trigger the gather quest when I do it. So there's an interact with target that's not gelling on the third account. So if there's a gather quest, it works for the first two, and the third one doesn't get credit.
Well, that's interesting.
So I have to investigate why that is. Like, probably when I do pick up the quest at first, if I move too quickly, the accept doesn't register. So that what that does is if there's a gather quest, I have to go back and do it twice. But I still get rewards. I do stuff in a war mode. The only negative there is if a horde decides to attack, then it's all up to the rogue to bring the horde down because the follow command falls off. So the AoE works, but the follow does not. So the rogue is like super geared because he's got the cloak. So I did the Rathion quest where you go into, like, I didn't want to do it, but I sort of had to do it because I got an item with corruption. If you don't get something to counter the corruption, eventually you one-shot yourself. It's going to happen from time to time. With the cloak, though, the damage mitigation is really good because your vulnerability to that corruption mechanic isn't as drastic. It's just like the Cursed Dreadblades for the Outlaw Rogue that I was describing last week or 2 weeks ago. It's that mechanic that drinks your blood because you get hit, but that one hit of corruption takes 90% of your health in one hit. So I did some shenanigans with Lita and Grand Negus yesterday.
Oh, nice.
I'll talk some more about that in a couple of weeks. But I've set up the wheels and motions to get a few things done, and I'm hoping to get your birthday present, Brilliant. We'll see how that works. I have to level my not my mage. I've leveled up my mage. I have to level an alliance mage to max. Like I said this morning, I did an assault, and it went super well. I just have to get her a bit more gear because she doesn't have any money on Earthen Rings. So I have to find a way to get her some gear. I looted a piece of 410 gear that's buying an account. So that 410 gear can be mailed to my mage, and that will be a 410 belt.
Right.
Doesn't have to equip Najatar gear, because the Najatar gear is 385, and then would have to be upgraded, so she would have to open up the Najatar quest line. But if you loot the BOA while you're doing quests in either Uldum or what's that other place, Vale of Eternal Blossoms, then it's automatically 410, and you can just mail it. So that's great. I started the legendary cloak again on my paladin because I looted a piece. I looted a ring, and during doing World Quest, there was a Brutosaurus that you had to kill. It has a ring that has 15 or 20 corruption on it. So unfortunately, if you don't have damage mitigation like a self-heal or whatnot, you're constantly getting a hit every time you enter combat.
Right.
And every 2 minutes, the evil eye procs, the one Jeppy was talking about, and then that damages you. So I have to. I'm at the Rathion where he's going to hand me the cloak over. So it's a fairly long quest line. I would say it takes on a geared character 3 hours, and an ungeared character probably 4 to 6 hours, depending on how fast you mow through the mobs and how well you know your skills and rotation. But you really, during that quest line, you really have to pop all your cooldowns. You have to mitigate damage. You have to avoid AoE. You have to be ever so careful, because otherwise you're going to die and rack up an enormous repair bill. I'm fortunate with the auction house for the small items. The big ticket items have stopped selling.
Oh, no.
It's a little unfortunate. I sold 1 vial of the sand 2 weeks ago and nothing since. Everything is like, 300 or 500 gold that sells, and then that's it. So, yeah, the auction house has made things cheaper. Unfortunately, if you're in the business of selling big ticket items, you may have to fish a little bit longer to get some bites, or you might have to price a little more aggressively. I figure on my server I've lost about 1 million gold to people duping Violet Sands.
Oh no.
So when you buy a vial of the sands, usually it says who made it. I've bought these vials to resell them, and it doesn't say who made it. So it's either somebody realm transferred and it doesn't show who made it, or somebody who's found a way to dupe vials. And what happens is when they find a way to dupe the vials, they buy all the collector's pets on the auction house. And they buy all the collector's mounts. And then once they have everything, they move to a different server, or they start selling gold. If they start selling gold, Blizzard bans them, and all those pets and mounts are lost. It's just really irritating of a mechanic. Blizzard does the best they can to avoid people stealing credit cards and whatnot, but occasionally, from time to time, somebody finds a way, a crack in the armor, a broken item in a patch, and they torture us, the rest of us gold makers who are really addicted to the auction house. And it's I remember buying a mount, back in Warlords of Draenor, there was a Iron Skyreaver, this big flying 2-headed mount that had the rocket packs on the side.
Yep.
I bought it for 20,000 gold, and I got an email from Blizzard. The item has been removed from your list. It was purchased with this stolen credit card.
Did you get your money back?
No, you don't get your 20,000 gold back.
Oh, that's horrible.
If you buy a stolen item with a stolen credit card, Blizzard always has the right to revert the transaction. But you don't get your gold back. It's like, I just felt stupid.
Right.
And it's
screwed over.
Unfortunate for the person who gets their credit card stolen. And
Right.
People find ways of buying and selling gold. I don't really get it. But I try to do everything by the book and legit. I'm probably going to get a fourth account when the price of the second recruit a friend comes down a bit. I don't think I'll buy it with gold because I'm still trying it for that 5 million gold mount. But like I said, I'm down like 1 million gold on Thorian Brotherhood. It is what it is. You can't win them all. It's a game. If you can outsmart your opponent, it's great. If your opponent cheats, it's frustrating. Just like when you play Medivh in the ballroom and he cheats in chess and he beats you every time.
Yeah.
I did that fight so many times because I wanted the last pet at the end of the instance, the Minfernal or the whatever it was called. And the only way to get to that pet was to defeat the Balnazak, the Demon Lord, but you had to get past the chess room. So I had to do it for like 15 weeks in a row before I got the drop. It was insane.
The Minfernal is the one in Felwood.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the...
I don't know which one you mean, yeah.
Yeah, it looks just like the Minfernal, but it's the same model. I'm doing pet battles, but not as religiously. I'm doing pet battles for the Flawless Battle Stones, because those can turn into gold if you think about it. Grand Nagus, I mailed you 2 pets. I did not send them to Trelane, as we discussed earlier. There's been a hiccup there. So I sent them to Grand Nagus. I hope that's acceptable to you. I charge you my usual 5 gold fee, as I know that you're not always willing to part with that pressed latinum. So, gold. Oh yeah, I'll take 100 million tons. You gotta love the little green men.
Yes.
Anyway, I've been trying really, really hard to earn more things in the game than I know what to do with, because for the last few days I've been playing 18 hours a day nonstop. I get up in the middle of the night.
Wow.
I come to sit at the computer and I can't stop playing because I want to do all the things. I want to earn all the rewards and I want to do all the content. And I just drink it. It's not good for my health. I have to take things in moderation. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing.
Right.
There's a Klingon saying, a favorite dish tasted too often loses its flavor. Yeah, it's in the sayings. One of the Klingon proverbs. I forget where I heard it, but a favorite dish tasted too often loses its flavor. I forget who said it, but I think it was Worf.
Yeah.
And I'm watching through Deep Space Nine again.
Oh.
I really, really like farming stuff and watching Deep Space Nine at the same time. It's
a good combination.
Yeah, it expands your mind. It makes you think about things differently. And I really like Odo. Odo is like a completely in a league of his own. He has a different approach about things.
I think he represents a lot of us who felt like an outsider in a world where everybody else was inclusive, if that makes sense.
Everyone has a purpose, but Odo has a higher purpose because he's like one of his kind, right?
Right.
So I have plans to level up my little priest, my Zendalard priest.
Oh, nice.
I'm tempted to boost her, but I'm resisting because I know if I level her properly, then I will get the appearance for transmog. And I've been doing runs as Ragefire Chasm with my new setup for the key clone. So basically, I get rep on my alts. I get mats for enchanting. I also get transmog because I do it with a hunter, a priest, and a rogue. So there's 3 classes in there, and I know once I have that 4th account going, I'll probably have all 4 classes. I'll throw in a plate character in there. That way, anything that drops can be traded or learned appearance of.
Right.
It's not the holy grail. It's not like having your spouse in the game, but it's second best, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
And
I mean, I don't know if you remember, but the reason I started triple multi-boxing was because my ex didn't approve of me playing and would interrupt me when I was in a group with somebody. So it's the next best thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't have a lot of wife aggro this week. She was not feeling well, so I got a lot of free time. But pet battles were perfect because, like I said a few weeks ago, you can walk away and come back.
Right.
So,
right. That's what's nice about pet battles.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to just playing at my own pace, not rushing things.
Exactly.
But really drinking in the Kool-Aid, so to speak. And that's been my week.
Awesome. All right.
Very nice.
Oh, excellent. Oh.
How you doing?
I get excited. I get giddy and love making mini alts. My dog is trying to poop for the Horde and for the Alliance. It was funny in my head.
So how was your week in World of Warcraft?
My week has been fantastic. I spent most of the time on Aprillian. We're still doing the Suramar thing, but we're making progress. I was doing the one where you have to down those flying things in Fell Soul. And it's kind of erratic because, first of all, you got to kill the things around it to get the little bar so you can use the little rocket thing there, and then you knock them down, and then you got to go run and get them and loot them. But the worst part was trying to figure out how to get to that friggin' cave where the guy was, and then going through the portal, completing that quest. So I'm making progress. I also I managed to get almost 1,500 ancient mana, so I was able to do the withering thing. And I'm getting better at that. Although this time I wasn't able to, I had a bunch survive, but I didn't come across the chest. You can send the chest back. But I did do, 10,000, reputation? Cash. Yeah, so I got the cash, and I got a bunch of stuff for that, too. So I'm getting there, slowly but surely. And the Lunar Festival, I'm doing it on when I have free time, I've been doing my only male warlock, me, which, I really like because he's got a 2-letter name, which is very, M-I. And he's at level 57. It was funny because I would get on him and I would go to Orgrimmar and then I would try to fly, and I realized he needs to be 60, so I've been pushing on that. At first, I was pushing. What was it? There was a bind on account gown that he couldn't. That I wanted him. He still can't. It's 58. Okay, yeah, 58. So that's what I've been. Is
it a class item?
It's Queen Azara's dressing gown, the one I got from Archaeology. I've been wanting. And it's so silly because he's got 2 in his bag. That's crazy. Anyway, so I've been working on him, taking him to pet battles. I've been taking him to do all the cooking quests. And it was funny because I'm used to going when it's the bacon one.
Yeah.
I'm used to just diving right in, aggroing as many, AoE, killing them, and I forgot they scaled. For Aprillian, they're like, psh, psh, psh. For him, they're level 50, they're level 60.
Yeah.
The pigs are level 60. I'm like, oh, okay. I got to be a little bit more aware. I can't just.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah. So I've now been taking him around doing the Lunar Festival, which I love. I always try to get to. Oh my God, I'm having what's the one out in Mulgar? Thunderbluff. Because I like to go and honor that kid who's now an elder.
Right.
I was
Nomi?
No, not Nomi. Oh, you know who I'm talking about. Oh,
He was a kid and he's now
elder, but he was the one that lost his dog in Mulgar. And now he's in. And it was funny because I actually have taken a lower level tune out to Mulgar. It was a blood elf, and I decided, I don't know, I logged in. Oh, I know what happened. I logged in and she was in Darkmoon Fair, but Darkmoon Fair had ended. So now she's sitting in Mulgar. So I took her over to this Bloodhoof village, and she was doing the quest, and she was way out, where you go in and go in the cave, and you kill the supervisor, and you're doing all that. And I started to hearth, and I realized, her hearth is way at the Blood Elf starting area. So,
long trip, yeah.
Yeah, so we don't want to do that.
Aprillian, while we are at it, do you want to see if we can, because I have a tune I'm online with now that has finished everything but the one storyline for the Good Samaritan, if we can see where you need to pick up.
Oh, sure. Let me log out because I'm in me right now. But let me log in.
I'm not as progressed as Grand Negus.
Yeah, that's why
he may be able to unstuck you.
Yeah, because we talked about that and we tried constructs and we tried some
party sync
stuff.
Okay.
And it worked out. So
all right.
We might as well go and
I'll log back into Aprillian. I wasn't taking her on the Lunar Festival because I didn't think, is there any advantage to taking her? Oh, to get the coins to get something.
Yeah.
All right. So she's in now. If you wanna.
Good. Let me invite you.
What else have I been doing? I did.
Can I ask you a question about the tabard in the Animal Kingdoms?
Okay.
Why is the tabard completely gray? Is it broken?
It must be broken. When I go back in, I'll check it. It should be a tree. Most of my times I was doing
I know, I was doing the tree. On the chest, there's a tree, but the tabard's weird. It's not working.
Oh, okay. I will check that out. Because I was doing the fact that we are one with many branches.
Yeah.
So I thought the tree would be a nice one. Oh, is that you? We're phased. I'm in Shalaran. Should I go outside?
Are you in war mode?
Oh, I may be. So what do I need to go back to Ogremar?
No, in a rested area. Any rested area.
Any rested area. Okay, and then I click.
It's just to turn it on, you have to be in Ogremar.
Okay, and I'm clicking on talents.
Talents, PvP, talents, and then you have the PvP.
You need a circle at the
player
bottom
versus player.
Yeah, is that active or not?
It is active, so I need to turn it off.
Yeah, just click the little button under it, and then it should turn off.
All right. We're doing it live, folks.
Shalaran,
Guild, group, turner, adventure guide. I don't see. There it is. Okay. Talents. Okay.
Just hit the little button.
Okay. So I turned it
underneath. Turn it off?
Yeah. So now we're not phased because I don't. So.
Good. So now I'm going to sync us up.
So for those that aren't aware, I am trying to finish the Nightfall and so I can get my first allied race. I've been doing this forever.
Blood and wine, a growing crisis, statecraft, and changes seasons is what you're after.
Yeah, exactly.
Statecraft, I think, is the one where Near dies.
Shh.
I'm sorry. Spoiler.
I can't believe you spoiled that for me.
I know.
Okay, so I'm going to fly to Shadowrun or to the flight point there, and that's
All right, I'll meet you outside.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I really, it's like one of my favorite zones, I must say.
And no, I have been having a blast here, I tell you that. And and of course, having a max level tune is, like the bomb ever.
So let me just check already. There is one quest there.
We're doing it live, folks. So he's flying to me. He's synced up, so that puts you on the same path that I'm on.
That's right.
Right. And how do you sync up, by the way, for those of us that...
Bring up your quest log for the leader.
Okay. So the leader brings up the quest log.
Yeah.
And then
there's a little swirly at the bottom right that says party sync.
Yeah. Then you hit the button to either start party sync or finish it, or unsync.
Unsync, yeah.
But it meant that I had to turn off war mode, which the only advantage for war mode.
I could have turned it on, but it's easier for you to turn it off than it is for me to turn it on, because I would have to go to Orgrimmar, and you could just go to the next inn.
Right, right. And there you are. Are you on a, can I mount you? I mean...
Clean tag.
Clean tag. You know what I mean.
Yeah. We do.
Oh, you are. Oh, no, you're not. All right, well, should I follow you? Let me make you my focus. That's my new favorite mount. Although I haven't figured out that quest. I have to figure out that quest. That's my next big thing. The quest for this mount. So where do we go now?
Let me just see. Let's go in. Let me see. We need to go into Shadowrun and see what your state of affairs is.
Oh yeah, because I don't think I've planted that seed. I think that's
you have.
I have. Oh, okay. Oh.
Because you are you have the tree already started.
Where'd you go?
So.
Oh, I went the wrong way. Okay. So you can
as you can see, there is the thing started.
Okay.
This is the Arkandor, the.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess I did, huh?
Yep, you did. So, let's see what... Oh, wait. I need to feed Thalithra.
And you say she's the only one that I really need to feed?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay. I feed everybody.
Yeah, you just need to feed the 3.
Yeah, I feed the 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing it right.
Okay, let me just see if there's anything that I've missed, because some quests are only acceptable once they are well fed, so to speak.
Right, exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
Okay, so you...
Oh my God, your pet is so cute! cute.
Which pet?
Both of them. One of them is a pet, and one of them is your hunter pet.
Mm-hmm.
So
No. One. We're both hunter pets.
Oh.
Yeah. The one is the regular one, and the other one is the talented one. So if you are
what you talking about,
a
Willis?
beastmaster, the top.
So you have two pets fighting for you?
Yes.
I gotta get my hunter out. I haven't played a hunter.
So if you are a beastmaster, I think it's only beast mastery.
Right. Well, what else?
You have the top row, the animal companion talent gives you the passive ability of call your call pet additionally summons the first pet from your stable. This pet will obey your kill command, but cannot use pet family abilities.
Okay.
So that means that this pet does the normal attacks.
Okay.
My main pet does. And the second pet does the standard attacks, but not a family attack like special abilities, and the kill command. So normally people would say the killer instinct is quite good because killer instinct deals 50% additional damage on kill command against enemies below 35%, which sounds really, really good.
Right.
But if you choose your animal companion talent, it says this pet, the additional one, will obey your kill command, but cannot, and so forth. Which means that the damage from the kill command is not an additional 50%, but 100% because it's a normal attack from a second pet. And it doesn't say, as it does with Killer Instinct, below 35% health of the enemies. It says nothing, so it means all the time.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. And you have the standard attacks on top of that. So the only thing is if you want to...
Oh my God, I love your outfit. It is so cool.
Yeah, it's my dark ranger outfit.
All right.
So if you want two pets or that are identical, previously in Legion you could use a item that is called Essence Swapper, which would make your Hati, your second pet, take on the appearance of your main pet. So you had two identical pets, one Hati and one the normal one. But Hati doesn't work the way it did before. So Hati is just a normal pet. And the Hati copy cannot be used, as far as I know, you can't use the Essence Swapper on your Hati that is Hati now, because it's not the old one. So I'm not sure if that's correct, but as far as I've tried, it doesn't work the way it was back then. So if you want two identical pets, you need to tame the same pet twice.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
Which is not nice because I want Lokenahak.
And it's hard to get.
Oh, I have one.
Right.
But I would need a second one to have it as my first slot stable pet, to have a copy of it.
I see.
So,
what you
yeah.
mean. All right. Okay. So in the meantime, we're gonna be following. I'm gonna be following you, figuring out what to do. Hopefully. Yeah. All right.
So
I think this will work really well. So, I think that's about what I've been doing. You know, I haven't got into... I've been thinking about WoW Classic because I've been reading a lot of, fun stuff. I've been following... There's a streamer on Facebook, and she's been playing WoW Classic, but I haven't played. And hopefully we'll be able to get this going. So thank you for syncing up with me. And next week we will let you all know how this works out.
Yeah.
All right. And that's been my week. I'm going to dive right into Lunar Festival. And we'll finish this and tell you about it next week. All right.
We will.
I find it very, very easy to be true. Am allerschönsten war es doch zu Haus und auch sonst mich einst in die Welt hinaus. Und in der Ferne suchte ich mein Glück. Wer kennt den Weg zurück?
And now it's time for Add-on Spotlight and a whole bunch of other things with Grand Nagus. What do you have for us this week?
So, I really haven't done much other than starting the initial quest chain for the cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And since it isn't what I had hoped for. I'm not sure where to go at the moment. As I said earlier, the state of the game for me is a little, I'm not really too happy with it. It's not that I don't have anything to do. It's just that nothing of what I want to do, or very few things.
Can you pinpoint what's the most irritating thing for you is? That's not for me. It's the grindiness.
It's difficult to describe. For me, it's. I would like to see something that is not a copy of something.
Oh.
I would like to see a unique gameplay experience.
Okay.
For instance, as I've mentioned previously, when I introduced or when we talked about the horrific visions and the upcoming Torghast, I said it's a combination of Chromie scenario, of Mage Tower, of scenarios, all that stuff. I don't want a puzzle box, a box with a jigsaw puzzle where I can pick 3 or 4 pieces and then put together my puzzle. I want new things. I want. I could. One thing I always hated was that they had the 3rd version or whatever of the mission table. Why do 3 expansions in a row need mission tables? Just because it worked with the garrison. Why? It feels like it's repetitive. They made it. They tweaked it a little here and there to make it not so similar.
Right.
But still, it's the same base mechanic stuff.
Right.
And the same thing with the horrific visions and with Torghast. It's the same thing. They tweaked the mage tower. It's difficult, it's hard, and then they put in a bit of chromie with the talent tree, and they put in the scenario aspect from Pandaria, where you can do it with varying numbers of people. Well, that's not what the scenario is, but it was a 3-player content. So it's not 1 or 5. Or islands or whatnot. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but basically that's it. And I get it that there are only so many things that you can, or ways that you can bake a cake.
Right.
You have to have the quintessential ingredients for it, but people were quite happy with scenarios back in the day. People were quite happy with are quite happy with dungeons and with raids and with single-player content. Why don't you give them that stuff, and why do you always have to tweak it? Why can't you? Yeah, I don't know. It's something that it feels.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Did you like Pandaria and Cataclysm, where you had 20 to 25 dailies to do a day, or do you like now where you have 6 dailies to do a day, and they're all percentage bar?
Dailies, it's really good that they brought back dailies, and then they added dailies to the world quests. Having an environment where you can pick and choose between dailies and world quests is good.
Yeah,
I like that. It's just that, that's quite good. So I don't care, frankly.
I preferred when there was 20 quests to do a day, and you could pick which 20. You had to make a choice which reputation you were going for.
I don't know.
That was a form of gating, and the only way around it was to have alts to do all the gating, to do five grinds at the same time.
Yeah. Pandaria was the first expansion, if I remember correctly, where they dropped the maximum number of dailies you could do per day.
They made it unlimited.
Yes, I like that. On the other hand, it makes the content more mandatory.
Right.
Because you feel that as long as there is a quest to do, I have to do it.
You're not
for
done.
progression.
You're not done ever.
Well,
and that you're accomplishing something.
Let's put it this way:
is it busy work?
If you go back to the Pandaria thing, and you start in the Vale, and you go to your respective faction hub, and you pick up the dailies, and you go to the pagoda, and you do the first set of dailies there for the Golden Lotus, and then you progress to whatever other faction. And then you go make your rounds in the 4 zones that have the dailies for the respective factions, and you're done. That gives you more than 25 quests that you've done. Is that bad? No. Is it bad that Blizzard prevent you from doing all of those by gating them like they did until and including Cataclysm, I would say it's more bad that they gate you from doing it than they take away content from you. And that's what I would say is the biggest advantage from removing the gating. If I want to play the game, if I want to play the content, then let me play the content.
Right.
Don't gate my fun by an artificial numerical gate.
Yeah.
If it's a progression gate, that's a whole totally different thing. Totally different, because I need to unlock this, that, and the other, like the Golden Pagoda.
Yeah.
You had to unlock the
August Celestials.
The August Celestials by getting to, what was it, Revered with the Golden Lotus. That's fine. That's progression.
Yeah.
That's so. But taking away my ability to do as many dailies as are available is a bad gate. Not that many people like the gating behind the faction rep, but that's a totally different story. But once you unlocked it, you shouldn't have that artificial numerical gate, in my opinion. But with 8.3, it's something I don't feel that this game is for me, because I feel that, okay, let's start from the other end. Guess how many Mage Tower appearances I've unlocked in Legion.
How many?
I wouldn't know.
0.
Oh.
Same here. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, because it's just something that it wasn't for me. But I'm totally fine with it, because it was not mandatory. It was an appearance.
Aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an appearance. It was a transmog feature.
Right.
Perfect. What is the horrific vision? The horrific vision is a form of Mage Tower.
Right.
Is it a cosmetic only thing?
No, it's got gear in it.
It's the main feature of the thing. The quintessential main feature of the patch. And it's just not for me. So that's something that I have a really big issue with. And if I think ahead to Shadowlands, where the main feature of the expansion is going to be a horrific vision 2.0, that is not purely cosmetic. I have a bigger issue, even bigger issue with it. So I can go and ask people to drag me through it, team up with people.
Yeah.
But not everyone likes to play in a group. And not everyone is that group person. So that is another thing that you can go and do it from 1 to 5 people. If you do it by yourself, you might not be good enough, you might not be capable enough. But to ask people to help you might not be your thing either, because otherwise you would play content with other people, and not many, or a few people, quite a few people actually, even though WoW is an MMORPG, play by themselves.
Right.
So
it's for introverts who want to be around people, but not really.
Yeah. So that's a thing that doesn't compute with me. It's something that you can enter whatever computation into the big computer. Nothing satisfactory comes out as a result. And that's the thing that I have an issue with. It's something that the mechanic of the horrific vision is such that people in my situation don't want to do it. I haven't finished the intro quest chain with Rathion because...
You have to do it in a group.
No, because I have to do the solo horrific vision at least once. And the result has to be a positive one to complete the thing.
I haven't done any horrific visions either.
Yeah, so that's the thing that if I do not succeed in this thing, I will not progress. I will have to repeat and repeat and repeat. Until
I'd be happy to go along with you, even just
You cannot. You cannot.
No?
The initial horrific vision is a solo experience. Oh, yeah. So there you go. That's at least that's what I figured out so far.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I don't want to tell untruths here. There are other people that do that way better than I do, but yeah. So
what is crippling you from completing it, you think?
I can't do it. The let's say it's probably the fear of failing.
Yeah.
That's something that yeah. I'd rather not do it than fail. So yeah. And then there is the thing in the assaults.
Yeah.
We've got so many assaults. We have the Warfront, both of them. We have the Dark Shore and the Arathi Highlands.
Yeah.
We have the faction assaults in the 6 zones on the 2 islands.
Yeah.
Now we have the assaults in Olddoom and in the Vale. They're all repetitions and with small tweaks of one another. It's nothing that's unique, that's new. Yes, you added, or Blizzard added dailies to the mix. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Maybe for me, I've pretty much seen everything there can be, and everything is bound to repeat itself in one way or the other. Maybe it's just mental overload for me at the moment. I don't know.
Right.
It's something that doesn't satisfy me. And the biggest thing of it all. The biggest thing of it all is there's one individual missing from the whole thing. And that's my biggest gripe with it all.
And what's that? Who's that?
who is
Dark Lady.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so
of
famous.
course.
Right.
So at least give me a resolution, give me an in-game cinematic of Nathanos carrying off the blade, and give me something that I know where he went with it. We know where he went with it now,
Right.
but because it's part of the conclusion of it, and the result of it is part of the Nyalotha raid. So, but Blizzard has been so good at telling this story. And then at the end, it's just as if, and
They ran out of
full
steam.
circle, the discussion about the raid and all comes full circle now, where it lacks conclusion, satisfactory conclusion, where we've had these immensely moving, heartfelt stories like the cinematics with the
Zappy Boy.
With Zappy Boy,
Oh my God, so good.
With Sao Fang, with everything from the moment the Dark Lady went up the steps on the walls of Undercity at the beginning, to her flying off at the end after she zapped Sao Fang. It's been such an awesome story.
Yeah.
It's as if it's a totally different expansion now, where all of a sudden, on a scale of 1 to 100, they went from 150 down to 10.
Oh, wow.
In the quality and in the content. It's something that, okay, so now Sao Fang is dead and the Dark Lady is gone. Now we can relax and work on the next expansion. That's how I felt. So let's just throw them something. And that one thing where Salatath, the blade of the Black Empire, is being carried off by Nathanos is not talked about at all. It's just popping up in the raid and that's it. So something like that isn't worth the expansion. Is not. I don't know. It's not a satisfactory conclusion, in my opinion. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say.
You came to the restaurant for a steak, and you got a hamburger.
I got a hamburger? Oh, if only.
Huh?
If only I got a hamburger.
Yeah,
I got,
hamburger, no fries.
I got the buns, if that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, I hear your pain there.
Yeah, it's something that just is sad.
For myself personally, every expansion I skip one patch because otherwise I burn out. And I feel like I've skipped 2 patches.
Oh, shoot.
Like I'm going back and doing old content because of the mechanics just not grabbing me. I don't know what it is. I'm not able to pursue the same speed because maybe I have less time. I'm getting older, and my $15 a month now only counts for half the time that I could invest before. It's also no longer $15 a month. It's more like $19 a month.
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I totally get you. It's something that, and again, as I said earlier, there is bound to be repetition eventually because you can only, as I said, the ingredients have to be in the core of it all, have to be the same, just the seasoning and the method of cooking or boiling or whatever varies, but still it's something that I really hope that Blizzard comes up with a satisfactory solution for this. So yeah.
Any add-ons?
That first horrific vision you're talking about is the one in the halls of origination where you have to finish before your sanity runs out. With the cloak on? Is that the one you're talking about?
The horrific vision is no. The horrific vision is the one in either Stormwind or Orgrimmar.
Oh.
Those are the two horrific vision scenarios there are.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been in them. I've heard people commenting on them on the YouTube and whatnot, but I'm clueless as to how it's going to go down once I get in there.
There are lesser visions you can enter.
Oh, lesser visions. I'd be interested in that. Easier snack here.
Yeah. There are, if you do, I can't remember what thing you need for them.
Yeah.
If you go to the Vale,
okay,
it's the entrance is next to the crane, I think, near the Alliance Shrine.
Yeah.
And there is an obelisk there, and that's the entrance to the lesser vision of the Vale. Again, it's not as difficult. It has it's a similar mechanic. Do as much damage in the time you have before your sanity runs out.
You're right.
Yeah. And then you get some loot that you need as currency for the horrific visions and so forth and so forth. But yeah, and you get some other items that you need to combine with. You get like fragments, relic fragments. I have Archaea relic fragments at the moment, and I have Tolvir relic fragments. And you need 6 of either of them, and there might be more. There probably are more. I have a void wrapped relic fragment as well. And then you get, I don't know what out of it to then use further. Yeah, so there's so many things. I would just go and watch a YouTube video that explains what you can do with the respective currency, what you need for the respective content, and then check it out. And yeah,
used to be you could just go in and wing it. I remember doing
yeah, but that's
Blackrock Depth without a guide and without knowing where to go or whatnot.
Yeah, sure.
Just you just go in there and happens whatever. Like you.
Yeah, but that was all before this major new feature set in, the corruption. So it's basically a constant Yoxeron fight.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Sanity. Yeah, you use your 100 sanity and that's it. Yeah, so
corruption. I just got my cloak and I'm trying not to die.
All right. you have an add-on for us this week?
Oops, not really.
Okay. Norse.
Because there really isn't that much going on other than...
Can I ask a question then?
Sure, ask away.
Why do we need Pet Battle Breed ID when Rematch should be providing the information? Is there so many pets out there that he can't keep track of them all?
If another add-on does the job, you don't need the former if ladder does the job for you.
But some people don't have...
Pet Battle Breed ID is up to snuff. It's 8.3.
Yeah.
Rematch, if I go to Rematch, it tells me every single one of my pets are balanced, which is not the case.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's right. Let me just check. I use Rematch.
There's a reason why it doesn't work. It hasn't worked for several expansions. And I've downloaded 8 add-ons to fix it, so to speak.
Okay. Wait. For me, it says it's distinguishing. It says PP, BB, HH.
Yes. Yep. I've been wanting to see that for so many years, and it wouldn't do it for me.
Interesting. We need to go over your list of pet add-ons then once we're done here, so we can...
Well, I fixed it now, but I basically after I did the Trunks, the Awfully Big Adventure, I was like, I am done not knowing what pet I have and I don't have, what breed I have and it doesn't work. I said, I'm so sick of the add-on not being up to date. And I don't think it's the developer's fault. I think there's physically something wrong sometimes with the client, and the client doesn't tell you what doesn't work. It just sort of doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Of course not.
So,
the Blizzard client, the game is not supposed to tell you what's working and what's not working with a third-party thing. No, of course not.
I know, like, 2 of my Fell Flames from Outland, the original Outland, one of them was HH, Elf, and the other one was Power Speed. And I always liked the HH better. It had weaker attacks, but it would last an extra turn, which would usually win the battle. And I know the Gilnean Raven, there's one of the Gilnean Ravens that's no longer in the game.
Yeah.
It's been removed because that breed was just too good. So now if you make a Worgen, you get a Gilnean Raven. It doesn't actually match the one that's awesome. So you can never sell the Gilnean Ravens, the old ones, because they're worth their weight in gold.
Yeah. So my rematch is version 4.10.0 and it's 8.3 game version. So if that helps you, there is a up-to-date current version of rematch.
Add-on. My client's just not cooperating here. There we go. Add-on. You said rematch. Which version?
4.10.0.
I have... No, that's not the wrong. I don't even have the rematch loaded on this character because sometimes I don't load it on every character. Dang it. Okay, I'll have to reload it. Don't know. Can't reload right now because I'm in the middle of this scenario.
Yeah, but that's something that, and especially now at the moment for the first couple of weeks.
After a patch.
After the big patch, there are bound to be issues. Like they said in the in the WoW Challenges show the other night, which, by the way, happy episode 200, guys.
Wow,
Congrats.
good job. Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah, they just had their 200 show last night, so
That's awesome.
very, very awesome, yeah. But Olminia said something that made me listen more intently, let's put it that way, that 8.3 apparently broke the API in a way.
Oh.
He didn't elaborate on it, but the API is needed for all and every add-on in the game.
Yeah.
Because that's the API is how the add-ons communicate with the client.
Right.
And if Olminia now says that there has been issues with the API, then that means apparently, as if I remember correctly, let's phrase this very carefully. He said that they tried to implement the classic API now, and that apparently had conflicts or produced conflicts.
That would make sense.
I don't know if it would, because they're two different games. But again, that's what I said. I wouldn't see. I can't see how, because they're not the same game. But again, if they are part of the shared data that they did the restructuring some time ago, where if you open your WoW folder now, you will see that there's a whole bunch of shared data, and then there are up to three folders that are labeled retail, classic, and if you've got it installed, PTR.
Thank you for your coin, Grand Negus.
Oh, you're welcome. So if that API is located in that shared data, then it makes sense that there might be issues. As a programmer, and I'm not, but as a programmer, I probably wouldn't put it in there. I mean, that's my thinking of it, that if there's something that needs to work with only one client, then I put it in one client and not in the shared data. On the other hand, if the API is supposed to work on retail and the PTR, then it needs to go into the shared data for it to work on both. So again, I'm not sure as to how this works. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. And if I don't need to know, I usually don't bother. So yeah, there are so many issues there that I don't know anything about, and thankfully so, because my head would be exploding if I would have to, or if I needed to bother myself with that as well. So yeah. There are things that I'd rather do with my sanity than waste it on stuff that I don't need to know. Mm-hmm. And that's talking my real life sanity, not my corrupted insanity stuff in game. Yeah, that's it. Anything else, Contracts?
Nope, I'm fairly happy with my personal progression with pet battles. I put it aside for a long time just because there was just too much to do. Mm-hmm. And now I feel like I'm changing pace and I'm able to go back and do pet battles rather than progress into madness, as you describe it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay.
That's been my week then.
Awesome. Good week.
Good week.
I guess it's time for email now.
Emails, folks?
Email. Email.
La data. You've got mail. Who's next? I'm addicted to you, baby.
Lovely little email. We have an email from Kyle, and Kyle writes, yay, Kyle. Kyle writes, hello, everyone. I had a chance to play last Monday and progressed a bit in the new update. I really enjoyed seeing how the Valley of Eternal Blossoms looked before the corruption happened. I had a WoW break from Mid-Caddy to early Draenor, so I had never seen it before. The stuff with the old gods and corrupted areas are neat, and I like this new idea of having corrupted gear with neat abilities that comes with a cost if you get too much corruption. Today's Blast from the Past is from episode 397. Enjoy, Kyle. Oh, cool, Kyle. I'm glad you got to play. And yeah, for those of us who played through that area, we remember, it was hard up until the point where you finally got flying back. And, so, yep. All right, well, let's listen to Kyle's Blast from the Past. Thanks, Kyle. Today is Sunday, November 30th, 2014, and this is episode 397 entitled Overwhelmed Squared. I'm Aprillian, your host, and with me are my two awesome co-hosts. Good morning, Lita. How are you?
Good evening. I am doing well. I am in the spires of Iraq, questing my little undead backside off.
Oh, awesome. All right. And Rogue Slayer, how are you?
I am just dandy, gathering resources and running around and
That would be the overwhelmed part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. On so many levels, that would be squared. Right. It might even be like to the fourth power.
Yeah.
Or at least cubed. Okay. Well, Tidra is a little under the weather today, so she won't be joining us. But she'll be in our thoughts, and we hope she can still play. There are certain levels of under the weather.
Right.
And
like, can she hold her head up and move her hands? She's good to go.
I was just looking up on Wowhead, and like some of the followers have other perks, like they can summon, they can portal, they can. One of them, Liraj, has a portable command table. How cool is that?
Has a what?
A portable command table.
Oh, nice. That's really cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, you don't have to go back just to do that. And another one has a portable mailbox. So
nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. And I see what you're alluding to, because it's very similar to like you get the mailbox from so-and-so and the tillers.
From Gina.
Yeah.
How quickly we forget.
How quickly we
over in that place. So was
that
it
place
Half Hill?
Where were we?
Actually,
what expansion was that again?
Actually, they're calling it Argent Tournament.
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar. Yes.
Juno's Corner. Hello, Control-Alt-Well darlings. Brilliant, Tidra, Rogue Slayer, and Lita. And the chat room. Hi. So, I did not forget about you last week. I actually recorded audio for you, and then missed the deadline. I'm sorry, but Warlords has just been so addicting. I'm forgetting everything these days. I just want to play. It's crazy. Here, I'll insert last week's audio here so you get the picture.
Hello, Control Alt-Well darlings. Oh my gosh, so I just have to get right to it. Fricking Warlords is fricking awesome and is blowing my mind all over the place, and all I want to do is play and build my garrison and pick all the herbs and cut down all the trees and fish all the ponds and find all the followers and get all the upgrades and find all the toys and kill all the things and quest. Yes, quest, me! I stopped questing way back during Wrath, and now all I'm doing is all the quests. I don't want to miss a single one because they're fun, or they have some surprisingly good gear, or a frickin' follower, so I'm questing, and I love it so much, so I'm doing all of them, and I'm exploring every corner because you just don't know what you might miss if you don't, and I found a frickin' time-space continuum thing in an ogre hut that was crazy and awesome, and I found a griefer fish that you can throw at sucky people, and awesome fish that you can throw at cool people, and toys that you can give your pets so that you can play fetch with them, and oh crap, I have to go talk to Khadgar. I love him. He's amazing. He saved my life like 1,000,000 times. I gotta go. I love you guys. Gals, I mean. Stay safe. Kill all the ogres. Great big hugs and kisses. Mwah. Juno of Draenor. Khadgar, wait up.
Okay, so I'm inviting. So I've got Aprillian and Rogue Slayer in party with me. Okay. So what you guys need to do is right click on your portrait, and they should give you an option to go and visit
View leader's
the party.
garrison.
Yes. So if you click on that and see where that takes you.
Okay. Nothing happened.
I think you have to be in your garrison.
Oh, yeah, could be.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, I'm in the grand.
Maybe go back to your garrison.
Let me go back to my Gary.
Yeah.
Go back to Gary.
We're doing it live, folks.
Doing it live, chat room. Okay.
I did it, and it said transfer instance not found, and it dumped me back in Warvar, and now my cooldown has been triggered. Okay, I almost just violated our clean tag with a effers.
Really?
Let me go hop a flight.
Oh, no. Oh, maybe because you had already selected view. I think you have to, because...
I'm flying.
I went back to my garrison, and then I selected view leader garrison, and it dumps me back at the entrance.
You did it right, so nothing went wrong.
Okay, so if you want to head towards me, go through. So you should be able to, once you come in, see my garrison and see my buildings and everything like that. I'm at the fishing shack, and we'll wait for Rogue Slayer to come join us.
I'm flying across the Zangar Sea.
Ooh, you have a guild bank. Oh, when you upgrade the bank, the storehouse, you get the guild bank.
Yeah. So I was talking with, I can't remember, I was talking with the boys, probably, I think it was Wingy mostly, about my choices.
Yay, garrison buddies! Sorry.
Yay!
This is really cool because as I was flying back to my garrison, because I had already clicked to view Lita's garrison, it flew me into your garrison.
Yes.
Very cool.
Ooh, look.
All right, so if you head over towards me when you're ready.
I'm going to go down and mine some of your ore if you don't.
No, you don't. Get your little, I haven't even done my daily yet.
Resources. I can take that. No.
Okay, so this is a PSA for those that don't know.
We might be losing the clean tag very shortly.
Right. One of the things. Oh, what's this?
What's that building?
It's a nice flower. One of the things that can happen when you invite somebody in is they can take your resources if they're qualified.
It's
so
just like inviting the whole high school over.
Right. And when your parents are out of town and
yes.
I just clicked on Vivian.
And
it says you are now bodyguard with Vivian.
Oh, you improved your reputation. Leave it. Click on Vivian. You
click on Vivian.
On your Vivian?
Yeah, on my Vivian.
She's so generous.
Click on my
Click
minion.
my Vivian.
She doesn't mind. I'll share her with all my friends.
Mine says Vivian, head back to the barracks.
Oh, maybe you are already bodyguard with Vivian.
No, yeah, well, see, I've already got mine. See my Vivian? Right there.
Okay.
Vivian.
Oh, where's your Vivian?
Bodyguard.
Okay, so you
There
already...
you go.
So, but can I send... It says Vivian, head back to the barracks. Can I send your Vivian back to the barracks?
I don't know. Try it and see. Try and see.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Do it.
I did.
I clicked on your War Spear Magus, and my prompt is Vivian, head back to the barracks. So I think I would be sending my own Vivian because I'm not clicking on your Vivian. I'm clicking on your War Spear Magus.
I know, but I don't have a Vivian, so it doesn't do anything. It didn't do anything.
Give it a shot. I can go pick her up if I need to.
I did it, and nothing happened. It says, "Are you sure?"
No.
But, I did.
Ooh. Yeah, you sent my Vivian back to. She just said, "I'll head back to the base."
Oh, but I can't send.
And she disappeared.
That's
I
mine.
can't send leaders
Oh, that
back.
was yours.
Yours is still there. Mine's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You said,
Mine's gone. And no,
yeah, you can send mine back if you want.
I tried it, but it didn't go.
Oh, that's so
weird.
funny.
That is funny.
After we had done our little, mutual garrison tours, I was running back over and getting my garrison resources, and I looked, and there was a little bird with a gear on it, a clickable bird in the tree outside my town hall. I'm like, wait, he had a name. His name's Pepe. I'm like, Pepe, what's that? So, and I couldn't reach the little boop, boop.
Little Pepe.
So I tried jumping up on the post. I put a little picture in the screenshot in the show notes at control.blogspot.com. So I tried jumping up in the little post. I tried jumping up in the tree, and I just couldn't reach him. So I finally did a WoW head search on Pepe. And what you have to do is you have to just
the glider.
You can use a glider, but the easy way, you stand underneath him, click him so he's highlighted, and then start spamming your interact with target button, whatever you have bound for that, and jump up and down.
Oh.
And you'll grab him. And if you look in this notes, you'll see what happens. You see that little orange thing on my head? That's Pepe. When you click on him, he sits on your head. Gosh. He sits on your head and sings for an hour. So while I've been going through Oldham and out to Northrend, he's like on my head. And then he's not a toy. He apparently just goes back to his tree.
Oh.
And then you have to go get him again. There's all kinds of other quests in the Ashran. A lot of them are just sort of daily things. You turn in these artifacts and you get an honor point and turn in the other stuff. Well, one of them, the guy wanted some armor scraps. So I was like, okay, I can go get some armor scraps. So, I killed people and I got some scraps. It might have been NPCs, I don't remember, but I took them back to him, and his name is Angry Zerg. And I put a little screenshot of the window when I turned it in, because it's called Into the Wilderness, and his dialogue is yes, takes a deep whiff of the armor scrap. It's fresh.
Right.
I'm like,
somebody
okay,
has issues.
You're really creepy. I'm going to go away now. But thank you for the conquest points. He gave me 50 conquest points. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's like, and he does that whenever you turn anything into him. He has different disgusting things he says.
Oh my God, that was so good. I remember trying to figure out all the ins and outs of the garrison and how exciting it was to visit somebody else's garrison. And of course you got an achievement, which, back then it was like, achievement. I don't think I ever did Peppy. Did you do Peppy?
Yeah, it's what a strange interdimensional trip it's been. Yeah. You get a toy that summons Pepe on your head when you blow the whistle on a 30-minute cooldown, I think.
I'll have to go. Now I want to go back to my garrison and try it. All right. And I love hearing from Juno. Earlier today, I was thinking I remember when I used to say we're going to start the show with what we want to start with, and that's that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So now's the time I get to play this.
We're clan of darkness here together. What's in an egg that we can't weather? Apocalypse. We've all been there. The same old boss. Why should we care? We're clan of darkness here together. What's in an egg that we can't weather? There's nothing that we can't face. Except for bunnies.
How are the clans of darkness and Control Alt WoW on Wormus?
I did the loop around the block, and it seems that the only person that's gotten any achievement this
Wait a minute,
week
don't tell me.
for leveling.
Don't tell me. I know. Is Rogue Slayer in Iron Man?
That's right. Yeah. Everybody else is either playing on their max level or they haven't hit one of the key trigger points to trigger the achievement. So congratulations, Rogue Slayer. You're ahead of us.
Yeah. All righty. All right. And we're going to be recording next Sunday at 5 o'clock? Yep. Okay. This works for you, Grand Negus?
Next Sunday at... That's...
It's in the future for you. It's
no. It's
Super Bowl weekend.
It's Super Bowl weekend, and there is a team, not the
not Patriots.
The not Patriots.
There's a Super Bowl? I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure the Patriots aren't playing, so there's no Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
What's the point of watching it? Oh, sorry. Are you going to watch it? Or you think we should avoid conflicting? Because we can't do Mondays, right?
I don't know what time it is. Let me just quickly check the schedule for when it's...
I really don't think the people... In a Venn diagram, the people that listen to our podcast and the people that care about the Super Bowl probably don't intersect.
No, but me, since...
Oh, are you going to watch the Super Bowl?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
I don't really watch the Super Bowl for the Super Bowl. I watch the Super Bowl for the commercials.
I watched the Super Bowl. I watched the commercials.
For years, the commercials were banned in Canada. We'd have only the Canadian commercials pop up for most of them.
I watched the Super Bowl commercials on YouTube after the Super Bowl.
So 6:30 Eastern. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. So
5 o'clock, and we'll make it short so you can get to the game. To the game. To the choppers. All right. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks guys. Shout out to D Jeppy. It's good to see you playing. Good to hear from you in social media. And this is Aprillian for the Horde.
This is Constructs for the pet battles.
This has been Grand Negus. Rule of Acquisition number 19. Satisfaction is not guaranteed. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.